This is a production of Florida State University.
Hello and welcome to this December edition of FSU Headlines. I'm your host, Mark Vaughn, and we're glad you could join us. Earning a college degree is no small feat, and getting it during a global pandemic is something extraordinary. To celebrate these achievements safely, Florida State University made a historic transition to a virtual commencement ceremony. But how do you create the graduation experience online? Well, we recently took a behind-the-scenes look at what it takes to bring this event to life.
Good evening. I'm John Thrasher, President of Florida State University. Welcome graduates, families, friends to our fall commencement exercises. As president, graduation days are always my favorite days. Nothing fills me and my wife Jean with more joy than seeing students who we have come to know over the years cross the stage in their caps and gowns, having achieved their dreams of a Florida State University degree. It's now my distinct pleasure, to welcome our commencement speaker, meteorology professor Sharon Nicholson.
It is a privilege and an honor to address the class of 2020 at this special moment in your lives. You are closing a major chapter of your life story. You have worked hard to get here and hopefully played hard as well. Now, as you leave FSU behind, remember the good years here, but note that your best years lie ahead. You have the power to make them what you want them to be. And what defines you now is merely a pale preview of the vibrant person you will become over the next 5, 10, 50 years. Class of 2020, go forward. You are the future of the world. Thank you very much.
I hereby confer upon you the appropriate degree for which you have qualified, whether the Bachelor of Arts, the Bachelor of Fine Arts, the Bachelor of Music, the Bachelor of Music Education, the Bachelor of Science, the Bachelor of Science in Nursing, or the Bachelor of Social Work. We extend to you our sincere congratulations. Graduates, if you're wearing your caps at home, you may now change the tassels from right to left. We are pleased now to welcome you as alumni of Florida State University. I want to remind each of you that you'll be a Florida State University Seminole forever.
The year 2020 was very different for all of us, and that includes everyone here at Florida State. But the students, faculty, and staff all persevered through those difficult times. And despite some obstacles, it was still a year of progress and amazing accomplishments, including another top 20 academic ranking. University President John Thrasher recently reviewed that ranking and other accomplishments as he looked forward during his annual State of the University address.
It's an honor and a privilege to deliver what will be, I promise you, my last State of the University address. So if you'll indulge me today, I'd like to take a look back at some of the things that we have done over the last year, but also that we've accomplished together over the last 6 years. I believe we're on the threshold, frankly, of a new era. We all have a role to play in this as this university continues to reach even higher. When I delivered this talk the last time, I said that Florida State University was on the verge of a major transformation. And what a transformative year it has been. We did it because we chose to invest in the heart and soul of this university, our students, our faculty. Those are our priorities, and if we put them in the right place, the rankings would follow, and they have. that is in our DNA, I believe, at Florida State University. Our strength not only pushes us forward, but it carries us through difficult times as well. I'm looking forward to the next year, to continuing to work, to reach out, to even hire and achieve even more. But we are one of the fastest rising universities in the nation. We've been able to hire more faculty, offer smaller classes, and reduce the student-faculty ratio. I've given Florida State my allegiance since I first stepped foot on this campus as a freshman in 1961. And I know all who have yet to come will love this university just as I have. It's our university, and it's been my distinct honor and greatest joy to serve as its 15th president. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Florida State University's Alumni Association recently honored a group of distinguished graduates during its second annual Alumni Awards Gala. While the event couldn't be held in the traditional sense during homecoming week, the streamed ceremony still honored exceptional alumni for their accomplishments and their service. The highest honor of the night went to Freddie Grooms McClendon, who was presented with the Bernard F. Sliger Award. This distinguished educator received her doctorate from FSU in 1972. Just 2 years after the university awarded its first doctoral degrees to black students. For decades, she was a champion for diversity at FSU and served as executive assistant to 5 FSU presidents, including Bernard F. Sliger.
I am elated, proud, and humbled to receive the Bernard Sliger Award for Service and membership in the Circle of Gold. It is especially significant because Dr. Sliger and I were hired by President Marshall in 1972. He as Executive Vice President and me as Assistant to the President for Minority Affairs. He, of course, later became President, but I was pleased to realize that we reported for work on the very same day, and we have always been a supportive duo.
The Alumni Association also awarded 5 recipients with the Circle of Gold Award. One of these outstanding individuals was the late Karen Laughlin, who passed away earlier this year after nearly 40 years of service at Florida State.
Dean Karen Laughlin loved Florida State University, and I know she would have been delighted to have been inducted into the Circle of Gold. It's my great honor to accept this posthumous recognition on her behalf.
All right, coming up next on FSU Headlines, an FSU alumna turned author helps children learn about social distancing. We'll show you how a Jacksonville mom's best-selling book is helping families teach their children the importance of staying safe and healthy when FSU Headlines continues in a moment.
At Florida State University, we're proving that students from all walks of life can achieve at the highest levels. We're proving that intellect, creativity, service, and daring matter. We're proving the next generation can do more than dream of a better world. They can make it happen. We are Florida State University.
When you buy a Florida State University license plate,
you're not just showing your school spirit.
You're supporting students like us.
In the lab,
in the classroom,
and in the library.
Putting this tag on your vehicle helps Florida State students achieve their dreams. So show your pride. Purchase an FSU license plate today.
Welcome back to FSU Headlines. I'm Mark Vaughn. When Tara Travieso started talking about the pandemic with her young daughters, she wanted to do it in a way that would make them aware, not scared. That's when the idea of Billy and the Brilliant Bubble began. This fun and colorfully illustrated book teaches young children about social distancing in a fun, lighthearted way, telling the story of a little girl named Billy and her imaginary bubble.
The idea of a bubble was really fun. Kids love bubbles. They love to be creative. And so we painted this picture, pretend there's a bubble around you, and if you get too close to someone, it could pop. And then as I started to share that idea with other friends and family, a lot of people were telling me, wow, what a great idea. I don't know how to talk to my kids about it, and I don't want them to be scared, and I don't want to talk in a negative tone. So they started using the bubble idea. And at that point, I realized maybe there's a lot more people that could benefit from this concept, which for me and for my family was working really well. So I wrote a book.
Travieso's first published book gained unprecedented attention across the country, earning her television appearances on Live with Kelly and Ryan and other media outlets. She was then inspired to write a sequel, Billy Goes Back to School, and continue helping families navigate through these tricky times.
The second book is intended to help people relate to different ways of learning and to help children see that there's lots of ways to go to school in today's day and age. So now there's 2 in a series.
Billy and the Brilliant Bubble was listed as the #1 new release in Amazon's children's social science book section. Well, just decades ago, Gadsden County was one of the wealthiest and most influential counties in Florida. Today, the county's agricultural community faces a new reality, and one Florida State University art professor wants to preserve its story. New Histories, the Gadsden Farm Project, aims to create a lasting cultural memory of the area's rich agricultural history. Through photographs, videography, and sculptural works, the collaborative project highlights local history and raises awareness about farming communities across Gadsden County.
One of the things that we had hoped for at the beginning of this project is that we would create some historical memory by archiving this project. And I think that was really important because when the state of Florida came in and videotaped each of these families, those videos are now for those families to go online and have for the rest of their lives.
Hennessian and her collaborators spent 8 months meeting people in the agricultural community and persuading local farmers to trust them by telling their stories, even offering handmade ceramic plates as a token of their appreciation. Looking back at the experience, Hennessian is proud of the relationships she's cultivated.
And I think that's the importance of this project, is that we represented the demographics equally of each person and gave each person sort of their voice and their perspective, which is not always the same perspective that is historically documented.
Well, a Florida State University professor has received a prestigious grant to continue bringing the power of dance and music to communities and audiences across the nation. The Ford Foundation has awarded Professor Jawale Zolar a 7-figure award to support her dance company, Urban Bushwomen. The funding is part of an initiative to recognize Black, Latinx, Asian, and Indigenous arts organizations negatively impacted by COVID-19.
Urban Bushwomen was thrilled to get the news that we were selected as one of 20 of America's cultural treasures by the Ford Foundation, and it came with and is coming with substantial funding to really support us through the pandemic and beyond.
The mission of Urban Bushwomen is to bring the untold and undertold histories and stories of disenfranchised people to light through dance. This funding will allow the dance group to look toward a secure future and expand their performance and education programming.
The work that we do not only on the stage, but the work we do off the stage. And particularly a lot of that work that we do off the stage is around looking at issues around racial equity and how that is a part of our art making, our education, everything that we do that for us has to have a lens of racial equity.
Well, coming up next on FSU Headlines, Florida State University students set a positive example for healthy behaviors on campus. We'll show you how a new ambassador program has empowered students to take the lead on a campus health campaign this fall when FSU Headlines continues in just a moment. Welcome back to FSU Headlines. I'm your host, Mark Vaughn. FSU student organizations are still finding ways to serve the Tallahassee community. As reporter Anthony Fernandez tells us, the Big Event Tallahassee was able to do that with a different approach this year. Take a look.
Strength in numbers is just one of many key values associated with community service. As one of the largest one-day service projects in the nation, the Big Event Tallahassee is a student-run organization that understands this better than anyone.
One of the reasons why I love participating with the Big Event is the fact that you are able to give back to that community that you live in.
I liked the concept of the overall helping the community. I also just love helping my community and making a difference for people even if they don't really notice it. It's uplifting and empowering.
Although the main Big Event takes place in the spring, the Little Event was created to serve the community for a second day of the year. This year's Little Event was more important than ever, as a virtual service option was added for the first time to comply with university and CDC guidelines for the COVID-19 pandemic.
For our at-home virtual service opportunity this year, really proud of it. We had participants complete 4 out of 6 opportunities listed. This included anything from donating blood, picking up trash on the side of the road, maybe at your local park or community, things like that, wherever you saw fit.
I think that shows their leadership, their creativity, and yet still their commitment. The Big Event makes a real difference in our community's lives for our not-for-profits, for our elders, and for those living with some significant disabilities.
To ensure each in-person site was in proper condition to host volunteers, Big Event staff members drove all over the city doing inspections and securing contracts.
The contract process is just so that we can keep our participants as well as our sites as safe as possible. It's also really important now in a COVID world that we're living in to make sure that our sites know that they have to be socially distant. We've got to wear the mask the whole time just to make sure everybody is as safe and as healthy and responsible as possible. That way we can serve the Tallahassee community.
And on the day of the event, volunteers enjoyed the service they were contributing, regardless of where they were doing it.
Look at that.
I chose the in-person option over the virtual just because I was in the means to do so, and I think it's really nice during these times when you have a safe environment to come out and help people that you're able to do it when you can.
It was really cool to see the amount of progress we made in literally 2.5 hours we got here, and obviously some stuff was done, but now there's plants and you can literally see them. That was all of us working together.
3. I think the biggest key about the virtual service was to have it so that if you were stuck at home, maybe you couldn't come to school this semester, that you could still participate with the Little Event, even from your community.
Students from Florida A&M University and Tallahassee Community College are also welcome to volunteer, making Big Event Tallahassee the only one in the nation to include more than one school in their service project.
I think it's really nice that people get to come out of kind of the FSU campus area, same with TCC and FAMU, and get to see not only what comprises all the universities and the different students there, but also what makes up Tallahassee.
This gives me a chance to meet, understand, and hear different stories and backgrounds. So while we were sweating, while we did a lot of work, we had a chance to share stories, understand where each other are going, and how we might be able to help one another.
That might be back in touch right next to that. I'll have to come back out.
With this year's Little Event serving as a test run for a larger scale event in the spring, the Big Event has its sights set on the future, knowing they can still serve the Tallahassee community no matter what obstacle they may face.
For the Big Event in the spring, we're still planning to have it on the last Saturday in February. Obviously accommodate to the current situation and keeping the health and safety of our volunteers as well as our constituents in mind.
I don't distinguish between Big Event or Little Event. The fact that we have the event on an annual and biannual basis is tremendous because there are so many unmet needs, and a day like the Big Event can help meet those needs.
Whether their service involved interacting with Tallahassee residents or individually contributing to the well-being of their environment, the Big Event's volunteers know they are contributing to uniting Florida's capital city. I'm Anthony Fernandez, reporting.
You can find out more information for February 27th's Big Event on the bigevent.fsu.edu. Well, FSU is adapting to keep students and staff safe in a pandemic. Isabella Kring has more on one of the newest programs designed to keep FSU healthy.
Battling the coronavirus at universities is especially challenging in an age where misinformation often spreads virally. That's why Florida State University Health Services has put together the Stay Healthy FSU initiative to provide complete information and promote healthy behaviors.
Hand washing, making sure you know your signs and symptoms. If you're not feeling well, stay out of groups. When you're with your groups, you're wearing your face covering. So our simple day-to-day things that can just keep this campus safe and well.
The Stay Healthy FSU initiative has put reminders all over campus, urging students and staff to wear their masks, practice social distancing, and informing of university health guidelines. But signs can only do so much.
Our Stay Healthy Ambassador Program launched as a part of the Stay Healthy initiative, so we really needed those feet on the ground. We needed folks out there promoting it, talking to people one-on-one, telling them what it's about, because a lot of times you can put a sign up, but it's a little passive, so let's have those conversations.
AVANT says that students are more likely to listen to a peer than an administrator. That's why the Stay Healthy FSU initiative has launched the Student Health Ambassador Program, where students can volunteer to spread awareness to fellow students as well as potentially concerned parents.
SHAP came about because Mary Kay and I, when we were talking, we recognized that there was definitely going to be a need for COVID awareness and embracing healthy behaviors, and then there was also going to be people who had questions and didn't know where to go.
The SHAP volunteers have a weekly Zoom call where parents can ask questions and get up-to-date answers about COVID-19 at FSU.
With volunteering, we have both tabling on campus and a virtual office hours. And so these students get the opportunity to speak one-on-one with either parents or students that are confused about where to get tested, what the right test is to get, symptoms, flu also, because now the flu season is coming in.
At FSU home football games, the Stay Healthy ambassadors can be seen waving signs to remind fans to wear their masks and practice social distancing. They also hand out free face coverings to those who may have forgotten to bring one to the game. In the stands, the ambassadors hand out goodie bags with pandemic essentials to reward fans who are following health and safety guidelines.
For the most part, they are students who are very passionate about the health and safety of their peers. So they are doing great and meaningful work. I'm very proud of them, and so you'll see them everywhere on campus, and they are super passionate.
You know, someone who actually has a parent that has that, illness, it can be very frightening. And it was just something that was very nerve-wracking. And I don't want anyone else to really experience that, Like every day just kind of felt like I don't know what's going to happen. It was just uncertainty, really. And so I just want to give back to the community by doing what's best. It's morally right, and it's, it just feels right.
I wanted to just share a positive message with everyone because everyone is stressed out. No one knows really what's happening, and if I can just spread positive information and useful information to people, then that's the best thing that I can do.
Together, the Stay Healthy ambassadors are working to spread one message.
Wear your mask. Wear your mask. I know it may seem like an annoyance and whatnot, but just please wear your mask. It's going to make life so much better.
For more information and regular pandemic updates, visit uhs.fsu.edu. This is Isabella Kring reporting.
Wearing masks and social distancing can save lives, so thank you, student ambassadors, for your help to inform others. Each year, the Florida State University Air Force Color Guard presents the colors at home football games and multiple other events within the Tallahassee community. And while these activities weren't able to take place this year, the Junior Color Guard recently showed out at Florida State's Westcott building to honor the nation's veterans and military. Take a look.
Present colors. forward, march.
All right, that's going to do it for this December edition of FSU Headlines. But remember, you can always keep up to date with Florida State University news online at news.fsu.edu. For everyone here at Florida State University, I'm Mark Vaughn. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.